Hey y'all, welcome to Beyond the Veil. I am Adina. Nice to meet you. If this is your first time around here, if you are an OG, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, anyways. Blessings to everyone. Let me take a little sippy sip. All right. I keep telling myself that I'm going to read Drake first, but I actually just keep thinking about Jarvis Butts. I was going to read him next, but I'm going to read him first just because the energy keeps bringing Jarvis Butts, and I don't want to try to force the Drake reading and keep saying Jarvis's name. Now, Jarvis Butts is the alleged killer and accused molester of Naziah Harris, the young 13-year-old girl who is presumed to be unalived in Detroit, Michigan. Her body has not been found, but Jarvis Butts, the 42-year-old baby father of her aunt Shannon Harris, is locked up and awaiting trial for her presumed passing. It is alleged that he had an inappropriate physical relationship with Naziah, and it is alleged that he is the father of the baby that she was carrying at the time, or alleged to be carrying at the time that she disappeared. Again, she has not been found to this day. I've done a reading on her aunt Shannon Harris. I've done a reading on Naziah, but I want to do a reading on Jarvis today. And so, Most High Mother and Father God, thank you for this day. Thank you for my gift. Thank you for YouTube, the platform that I'm sharing it on. And thank you for everyone watching this video. Please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul of Jarvis Butts. God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul of Jarvis Butts, the accused killer of Naziah Harris. Even though her body has not been found, she has not been found, it is believed that she is no longer with us, and he is being charged as being the reason that is so. Jarvis Butts, I smell like a bath and body spray. I don't know what kind of body spray. I don't say perfume, I say body spray. Naziah like to wear. But young girls tend to wear body spray because they can't afford expensive perfumes. Obviously, he did time previous to Naziah's disappearance for previously having inappropriate relationships with children. This is not something that was new to Naziah's family or Jarvis Butts. So it's interesting that I'm picking up on a very sweet, girly, very sweet scent. And it's like not a floral, but like a body spray, not a perfume, because it's too sweet. His affinity is definitely for young girls. If he's interested in older women at all, it's just the pastime and to have access. But his true desire is for the younger, sweet. He likes how they they smell sweet. The innocence about them, I think, is what he's attracted to. Jarvis Butts, talk to me about Naziah Harris. Jarvis Butts, talk to me about Naziah Harris. I compel you to speak your soul's truth to me and keep nothing hidden from me. Speak from your soul, Jarvis Butts. Tell me about your relationship with Naziah, and tell me about your involvement in her disappearance. Jarvis Butts, what part did you play in the disappearance of Neziah Harris, if any? I gotta say that to be fair, because you ain't been found guilty of nothing yet. Jarvis Butts, what is your involvement with Neziah Harris and her disappearance? I believe that Jarvis Butts knows that Neziah Harris is no longer with us. It seems as though he allegedly disposed of her and other items along with her, including a very probably early pregnancy. But there are some other items that were on her person that I believe, excuse my nails, that I believe, I'm in the process of removing them all, that I believe that he disposed along with her. Remember that her school ID badge was found by an older lady in the neighborhood who was very acute with handling her school ID. There might have been some other evidence that the police found that made them conclude that Neziah was no longer with us. Some other very pertinent evidence to Neziah's person. I believe that the problem is that Jason Butts is successful, or feels like he has a chance of getting away with this, or his only chance of getting away with this is the fact that Neziah hasn't been found, and so he probably is the one who did it. And he was successful in carrying out whatever he set out to do, which was getting rid of any evidence of his sexual involvement with her, allegedly. The challenge, though, is that the ground that he holds, which is why it's the Six of Wands upright, is the fact that nobody has been found. And it's more difficult to prosecute a case with nobody than it is to prosecute a case with a body, because that is a big part of playing towards reasonable doubt. I believe that some substance was probably used, maybe a substance from his auto body shop, but I believe that him and Neziah maybe were there that day, or whatever plans that he set in motion that led to Neziah's passing, he seemed to do so at that shop. Neziah could have passed away as a result of an attempted abortion. However, I see a tragedy. This is something that went terribly wrong. We already know that Jason Butts has been caught before with children. So there is shame on his name, kind of a falling of his status, because Jason Butts is probably considered attractive by a lot of people and a lot of women that he deals with, which is why he's able to have children in the double digits and multiple baby mamas that overlook his propensity towards children, a la Shannon Harris. He's been caught before. He's done time. That seemed to weigh heavy on him in his actions that led towards whatever took Neziah away. And I'm going to say that I think that the loss of Neziah, or the planning of whatever it was that caused Neziah to not be here, even if it was just planning an abortion, even though I kind of sense that in his mind, her not being here was a possibility, just in case she didn't want to go along with whatever forced abortion he might have been attempting. I think it hurt him to have to do this whatever was done to Neziah. I think he had feelings for Neziah. He did a pre-trial, and he is getting ready for an upcoming trial. There will be more evidence that will be put out in front of him that wasn't even really fully put on display in the pre-trial. I don't think Jarvis, I don't know why I want to call him everything, but Jarvis, I don't think Jarvis is looking forward to have to revisit things that he's done, especially inappropriate relationships he's had. I don't think he's looking forward to hearing his dirty deeds come out for the world, because eventually we're all gonna hear about everything that took place during the trial if it's not publicized. But he's not looking forward to the shame of having to revisit certain events. I don't know who he was expecting to cooperate with him. I know that he wanted his fiance to remove something out of her car, maybe a car that maybe Neziah was in, because her glasses were found in there. There were people that I think he expected to help him that did not. These people may have been aware of things that he was doing, especially with Neziah, which is why he might have expected help. All parties involved were fully aware of Jarvis Butts and his past, and at least suspicious of his current events. I think that has a lot to do with why his fiance was trying to get into his phone so much. I don't think it had a lot to do with other women. I think it had a lot to do with the rumors about the young girls that he probably had around the shop, and maybe even rumors about Neziah that were already out. Because even when his daughter wasn't around the shop, she would be there. He would be creeping with Neziah at ungodly hours. I'm sure his girlfriend or whomever he was staying with would be aware of the fact that he was coming and going at certain hours during certain times. So I think that he thought that because these people were, in his mind, complicit by knowing, and maybe a little bit more than knowing, then they would be willing to help him cover up certain things. Because I think a lot of parties are a lot more in the know than is being let on right now. I do believe that whatever happened to Neziah happened because she was pregnant. And I think that Neziah seemed to be keeping the baby, or the baby was too far along, or she was getting far along in her pregnancy, which is why it starts out the 9 of Pentacles, but current action was the Empress. And I think the other reason is that when he did go to jail, he could not have a baby out here by Neziah while he's locked up, because that could get out. That's gonna get out. I believe that, obviously, as we know, the King of Wands upright, he was having a alleged sexual relationship with Neziah, where he was acting as if he was her boyfriend. Again, I think his desire was towards smaller children. Even if he dealt with grown women, I think his true desire was for younger women. Hopes and fears. I think his hopes and fears lies within Neziah's family, the Harris family, because all of them should be charged. So all of them will probably hold back some things. And I think he fears there could be a chance that they won't or they can't. But he knows that everybody in that house knew. He knows what really went on. He knows that a lot of the time he was there with Neziah, they might have been left. He was welcome inside the house, possibly left alone because his children were there. His hopes and fears lies in the members of that household that Neziah was living in, because everybody is complicit in some way, except for the children. The outcome is the strength. I think the judge will do the very best that she can to punish Jarvis Butts as harshly as she can according to the law. And I think that there'll be things that she probably wants to do that she can't because of the lack of body. And maybe because of some other legal things. I think whoever is going to be his judge would love to see him be stoned. But I think that the judge will do the very best she can at administering justice under the circumstances, which is why it's not the justice card, but it's the strength. I also think the judge may really, I don't know, because I'm just peeking at the bottom of the deck. I think she really either wishes or wants other members of Neziah family to be held accountable in some way, because they're not going to cooperate to the extent that it makes them look complicit. The history of abuse in that family, I believe, is something that Jarvis played towards. He doesn't seem to be, and due to his experience in the field of pedophilia, he knows how to pick them. I will say that. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Let me just peek and see what just wanted to fall out. Tower and the Knight of Cups in reverse. I think whatever happened to Neziah happened because he knew that she was pregnant by him. He was getting ready to go to jail for a gun charge, and he couldn't have her out there growing and carrying and having a baby that was his, because that was guaranteed to make him face another pedophilia charge. Nine of Pentacles in the present position in reverse, Jarvis Butts. I think that taking care of Neziah would be such a relief off of him when he goes for that gun charge. And I don't know how long he was supposed to do. I know in Florida they got a 10, 20, and then you're gone rule. Third strike, you're out. I believe gun charges in Florida are an automatic 10. This is the 10 of Wands. So either way it goes, I think that this is something that Jarvis had been planning. And we know that there were searches on his phone and things like that that looked up home remedies for abortions and things like that. So I do believe that he was looking for an alternative route, but the man was desperate and needed this situation of Neziah being pregnant to be taken care of, because he had been having a sexual relationship with her, unprotected. I believe that he did unalive her, and he had to do so before he got locked up. This was obviously the day that he was supposed to get locked up, but the date was pushed back because of something. I think he thought this is the perfect opportunity. I think that they were in a car somewhere at some point, probably in the fiance's car, which is why her glasses were found in there. I believe the reason why he has not told why Neziah is because that will seal his fate. They might be able to test the DNA on her baby, and it would just it would seal the deal on the case, the motive, and all the unanswered questions without a body that gives him some ground to deny certain things. And the Six of Wands is more on that, I believe. He hasn't shared where her body is, even though I do believe it's still somewhere in Michigan. I don't know if it's in a rural, in an area that is heavily populated. I do know that there are probably mountains somewhere, if not close by, off in the distance. Maybe a small town somewhere in the woods somewhere. I think it hurt Jarvis to do whatever he did. I do think he at least suggested administering something for her to take, consume, drink possibly. He could have tried to force her to drink something. There could have been a struggle with him trying to force something into her mouth and her not wanting to take it. I think prior, he had mentioned an at-home abortion, and it might have been something she was willing to consider. But I think she was fickle, and as time went by, I think for her it was too late. I also think there might be something that we'll hear about his text messages that we haven't heard about just yet. There's something very, very, very significant that I believe Shannon is withholding because it will make her look complicit. Dropping off, picking up a location somewhere far away. I think that Shannon and the grandmother were not forthcoming initially, at least by not filing a missing person right away. Not notifying authorities right away. And with Shannon putting out the narrative to one of the cousins when they were searching for her, that she could have possibly left with an older gentleman. She was fast. This was known to be her behavior, because on the stand they said that this was nothing like her behavior. So I think there is a reason why at least Shannon was so anxious to paint that narrative. Shannon and the grandmother, but especially Shannon. I believe that they knew to look towards Jarvis. My question is why they needed time, why they needed to stall. Let me look into this Three of Cups. There is something Shannon, the grandmother, and Jarvis shared together that is not being said. I think it has a lot to do with Shannon's jealousy over the relationship that Jarvis had with Neziah, and I say relationship loosely. I think there was jealousy involved, At least, I don't know if this means that Shannon was complicit physically, actually, but at least there was definitely competition. And all of that has to do with the circumstances around why they were lax with presenting Neziah as missing, knowing Jarvis was possibly responsible for something. They didn't bring Jarvis to the table, I don't believe. They never brought him to the table as a suspect. There's a reason for that. And there's something to do with transportation and her not being, I think when she didn't come home, maybe something about the bus. Did they see any footage of her before the police did? But why did they wait? Least case, I think that Shannon was happy, or at least okay, with the idea that Jarvis might have done something because they knew that she was pregnant by him. There's something that Shannon knew that she's hiding because she doesn't want to seem like she's one of the parties involved directly. She might have known that he was concerned about the baby, about her being pregnant. So the fact that when she came up missing and they knew already allegedly that she was pregnant by him, that's not something that they brought forward, but that's something that they definitely considered and withheld. He liked to prey on children because they don't have the emotional intelligence, and he can control them and manipulate them to get them to do whatever he wants. Outcome. I think that they will charge him with her death. I mean, they will sentence him with her death, even though there's no body. That's why the strength card is the outcome. The judge will do it. He won't get out. He won't get away with this. So they'll sentence him to her death even without the body. They've already concluded that she's not here. Jarvis Butts, give me one card to tell me about the location that you left Neziah Harris, or that Neziah Harris is in. Give me one card. Tell me about the location. that Neziah Harris is in. Where can she be found? Tell me about the place where she can be found. Seven of Cups. I wonder if Jarvis is the one who put her somewhere. I wonder if someone else did. Clarify the Seven of Cups, because that's the clouds. And it's almost like he doesn't even know. There are a few places she could be. Clarify. I wouldn't be surprised if Shannon knows where she is. I think he had some help because somebody was in love with him. That was her baby daddy. And I'm looking behind the Death card. The Lovers. Somebody may have rushed to Jarvis at some point. Somebody else may have taken Neziah somewhere. Jarvis Butts, do you know where Neziah Harris is? Do you know where her body is? One card, yes or no? I think he does. I think he took her there, wherever she is. I think somebody else that lives with Neziah knows where she is too. Knight of Pentacles. Where did you take her? I think that something happened in his plan to administer something to her. She wouldn't do it willingly or something. I think it was a struggle. She passed away in a struggle or as a result of a forced abortion that I don't think she wanted. One card, where is she? Jarvis Butts, did you have help getting rid of Neziah, or did you do it on your own? Empress, I wonder if that's his baby mama, who might have also been the aunt to Neziah. Let's see. Jarvis may or may not know where she is himself exactly. He may have an idea. I think he called Shannon that night. And so I think Annette knows a little bit more too, which is why there was a delay with giving the correct information for Neziah when she was reported. I think 3 people know what Jarvis did and what the other 3 parties had to do with it too. Maybe coming to his aid. Maybe when he had her in the car, he maybe called Shannon or something like that. She maybe agreed to help. I don't know. But I don't think that Jarvis is the only one who knows where she is. I don't even know if he knows exactly where she is, but he can't say that because his baby mama could get caught up. Let's see. Spirit, who is responsible for hiding Neziah Harris? 1 card, please. Who is responsible for hiding Neziah Harris? Eight of Wands. She was gotten rid of hurriedly. This wasn't a premeditated murder. I will say that much. So wherever she is, it's almost ironic that she isn't found, because this was so last minute and hurried. Again, she's not somewhere like in a garbage can in the inner city somewhere. She's not going to be found, I don't believe, in an apartment building, in a bando or anything like that. She's somewhere in the elements. Maybe there are unfinished structures, development, constructions, or somewhere close by. Maybe some kind of development that's been halted due to resources, maybe materials or funds. Where is Neziah's body? Spirit, 1 card. And then I'll end it here, because I've asked this before. Not far away from water. Not far away from some sort of structure. Maybe that isn't habitated anymore. There could have been a bridge used to get wherever it is, or a bridge nearby. Maybe a body of water nearby. I believe there was grief when she was left there. Remorse, guilt. But it had to be done. Let me look into that 5 of Cups. And somebody else knows where she is, because I believe he talked to them. I wonder if cell phone towers can help pinpoint a location. One more card to describe where her body is besides what I've said in the Five of Cups. Give me one more big indicator of what could help find her body. There's a body of water somewhere near her. There's water. There's water. The Star. It's cold, so it is somewhere up north. Obviously, she's in Michigan. It's cold there when it snows. I don't know if he thought about putting her in the water. Maybe did at first, but she wouldn't. It didn't seem like it would work. I don't think there was fire because this is too much water, even though this is the Aquarius card, which isn't water. I'm not thinking apart. Here's the Seven of Cups again behind the Star. I imagine that the elements have already begun having their way with Neziah. Because I see snakes and dragons and all that other stuff. It's a tower here. So there could be some construction or development going on nearby. Not saying where she is, but somewhere nearby in a certain radius. But I don't know if it's construction that's done, development that's done. I won't say that it's habitated yet or habitable yet. Because I think there's money needed for whatever development to continue, and it may be a seasonal thing, and it's the winter time right now. So wherever this is, it's somewhere that's not fully developed, but there is some building started. I don't know if it's been abandoned, but it's been abandoned temporarily. There's water nearby, and there's open land and space. I don't even know if it's a very shallow grave. And I believe that it's not too far from places that have been searched. I think the authorities have enough evidence to know where to find her, but she's being overlooked again. And I won't say intentionally. Something went amiss. If any of the involved parties helped in the search, they helped to lead people astray. I think he had some help in some way. I think he might have called someone and said, I did something and I don't know what to do. And I think someone might have helped him to keep him out of this legal situation that he would be in. I think it's someone that is aware of his inappropriate relationship with Neziah. I think it's someone that, if you're familiar with her case, then you're familiar with that person. I'll say that. A woman probably who already testified, has to testify, but she's going to leave out some things about the part that she took in this. I think there might be some kind of bombshell information that comes out in this case that maybe shows Jarvis wasn't alone in all of this. God bless Neziah. Love you guys. Bye.